Radical! Welcome to this week's episode of the Print on Demand cast. Each week, join the gnarly Travis and Josiah as they provide insight into the print on demand industry and equip you with the totally tubular tools, advice, and strategies you need to achieve success and hopefully have a few laughs along the way. Now on to this week's Totally Tubular show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Print on Demand cast in the format that you're probably most familiar with, but probably isn't your favorite because the in-person episodes, they go places that we never plan on them going. And if you want to know what we're talking about, just go listen to last week's. It was a good time. But here we are this week, new episode, new content. Thanksgiving is over. All the food was had. The weekend was fun. Long, I mean, at least for me, I know you didn't have a long weekend. I had like a 5-day weekend, which was really hard to go to work this morning, but a good weekend nonetheless. Played some poker, ate a lot of food. Now it's Monday. Travis, how is your Cyber Monday treating you there at Make Your Mark Design?
Yeah, lots of sales, lots of orders being placed. I'm just gonna look and see. I just wanted to see if I could find. This is live, isn't it, Josiah?
Yes, it is. He is Googling right now.
I just wanted to see. Yeah, okay.
His own stuff.
So I believe we have surpassed Black Friday's sales today. So tomorrow will be another day of just craziness. So we came in over the weekend. We didn't work Friday. We actually worked Saturday so we could get all of Black Friday stuff done. And
sure,
that was actually really, really good. It was very smart to do that. Because we came in today and because we didn't work, we didn't have any of the orders from Saturday or Sunday until this morning. We were killing it this morning, and had a whole lot of stuff. And again, tomorrow we'll have a whole bunch of stuff. So, but I am proud to say that our team is really, they're on it. We're
nice.
We may be like one day behind in a couple of departments, but overall we're getting most of the things out the same day,
Nice.
So that's absolutely crazy. I have no idea how they do it, but they're awesome.
Hey,
so I'm thankful.
Awesome.
I'm thankful.
Yeah, that's incredible. Good Thanksgiving. I know your mom was in town, spent the holiday with you. Everything went well.
Yeah. I had a nice Thanksgiving. And then obviously we had Friday off too. So just hung around at the house and watched football and played games with the family and didn't do a whole lot of things. I was planning on going Black Friday shopping, but it didn't materialize. Instead, we went to Windsor and watched one of my son's basketball games. They were having a scrimmage out, actually 2 scrimmages out there. And so that was fun way to kind of in the 2 days. And then of course, Saturday we worked, and then Saturday night, we had a little fun.
Yeah, we did.
You want to tell them about that, Josiah?
Yeah. So if you've been listening for a while, I think Travis and I have probably referenced a handful of times that we have a regular or pretty regular group of guys that we've been playing poker with on and off for about, I don't know, probably at this point, 3 or 4 years, maybe. Some years more consistently than others, but we try to get together at least once a month and play poker. And so we did that Saturday night. It was actually pretty miraculous that we were able to get 6 guys together on the Saturday after Thanksgiving to come hang out and play poker. And I had a early morning the next morning, so I tried to keep it. It ended in the context
relatively
early, about 11:30 or so. I was at least asleep by midnight 30, which is nice. And on top of that, Travis did, in fact, it came down to Travis and myself, and Travis ended up winning all of it that night.
That's right.
Which was good. Second place is okay. I was just in the money, but I would like to win.
I want to win.
But it is what it is. Yeah, no, it was a good game all around. It was a fun time, and so was able to do that.
Yeah, it's always
kind of round off the weekend.
Yeah, it's always fun to get together with the guys, and we have a few brews, and then a lot of times we'll have a cigar or something. So actually on the way there, I went to a smoke shop. At least what I thought was a smoke shop. It had been replaced by an apparel store.
Really?
Clothes, but no cigar.
And that was this week's weekly dad joke. Clothes but no cigar. I think is real funny. Yeah, I love that. It's super dad. Love it. Love it. Yeah. So we've got a lot to get to in this particular episode. Lots of stuff. So we're just gonna go to the point of interest and see what it was waiting for us on the other side. So here we go.
Point of interest.
I like how I said we have a lot to get to, and then I just happened to play the 30-second bumper for the so long. And I had to side note, it's yesterday on I was served at my church on my church's worship team. We have in-ear monitors, and I had my left ear popped out enough so I could hear the room. And because when I lead, I don't like to have both ears in because it makes me feel like I'm in a can. But all day yesterday afterwards, and up until this point, I have persistent ringing in my right ear. So I won't do that again because tinnitus isn't great to live with. Anyway, so that was just really loud in my right ear. It's the only reason I brought that up. But here we go. The point of interest this week, selling printables on Etsy. And I know you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Well, printables are digital products like drawings, wall art, or templates created to be sold on Etsy, downloaded, and printed by customers, which I've bought a handful of these. You know, whether it's designs or stuff that I want like to put on a t-shirt or something I want to put on a poster or anything like that. So, I mean, printables are pretty cool. And I guess, Travis, for the listener, what's the allure? What's the benefit of selling printables? If someone's listening as a graphic designer and they can just throw stuff up there, what's the benefit?
Yeah, I think one of the benefits is that these products are immediately downloaded by your customers, and so there's no middleman. You don't, if you're doing print on demand, maybe with t-shirts or mugs, you have somebody else that's actually kind of the middleman, if you will, between you and your customer. And even if you do the work yourself and are still sending it out, there's a physical element to it that is not there with printables. And so the transaction is just momentarily, it just takes a few seconds. And you get paid right there. It's just that quick. There's nothing that has to be shipped and get lost in the mail. And then on the customer side, printables save a lot of time with like do-it-yourself projects. And of course, do-it-yourself really kind of hit a high point, I think, during the COVID, 2020, 2021. But I don't think it's gone down really. I think there will always be in demand. The other benefit I think is like, because there's no actual cost of goods, like Etsy's going to charge you 6% plus a 20-cent listing fee.
Right.
So, if you sell something for $5, that's about 50 cents. So you make $4.50. If you sell a t-shirt for like $25, maybe the shirt costs you $12.
Right.
Then the shipping costs you $5. So there's 17. You've got what, 6 left, depending on how much you actually are charged for that shirt. And so, in other words, if you sell $100,000 worth of, print on demand goods or t-shirts at $25, and you make, you'll make what, I don't know, what is that? $7,500 or something like that. Well, no, that's not the right math. I think it's like 20,000, but I'm not doing math on the podcast right now. But if you sold $100,000 of printables, I mean, first of all, that's a lot more sales. So you're probably not going to, but if you did, you'd make way more.
Yeah.
Because you're getting such, you're getting $4.50, as if you're selling them for $5. So, I mean, that's like, what is that? Like $90,000 you'd make if you sold $100,000.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable. So in other words, what you can also look at this, like, I have to sell a lot less to make a decent amount of money.
Sure.
Or a lot less things to
Sure.
make a decent amount of money than you do with print on demand. So they're really intriguing,
Yeah.
I think they're really cool.
Yeah, and I mean they're easily created. I mean, you can do Canva, you can do Photoshop. I mean, there's so many different. I know Placeit now has a lot of design templates that you can kind of plug some stuff into and modify. And so it's really, really easy to create them. And once they're designed, it's super simple to list them. You just got to make sure your mock-ups are good quality, and that nobody can just print out your pictures and steal your product. So I mean, you want to watermark you see it all the time. The graphic by itself is watermarked or something like that. So like to Travis's point, someone just can't, clip it or drag and drop it off of Etsy or whatever to take it without actually paying you. So make sure you do that as well. But there's lots of products that fall into this category. Printers, my God, that's not even what I was trying to say. Let's try that again. There's lots of products that you can create that are printables: planners, fillable to-do lists, chore chart checklists, logos, business cards. I mean, what else? Anything like weddings, event printables. I mean, there's tons of stuff.
Greeting cards.
Yep, greeting
calendars.
Cards. Yeah,
coloring books. Believe it or not, coloring books not just for kids but for adults too.
Yeah, in fact, we just bought. Madeline just bought us some adult coloring books because we have a 9-hour flight to Germany on Saturday, and so
there you go.
There was some that came in. She got me a adult coloring book that's like tattoos, like tattoo designs and stuff like that, like all these different styles of tattooing. So she must think that I like tattoos for some reason. But so yeah, adult coloring books are popular. You wouldn't maybe think that, but they definitely are. But also photography, fine art that you've created. There's just so much. You can even sell print on demand designs that you've made and use that as a marketing angle in your title and description. So like it's just another way, really. If you have those assets, then you've been selling on Amazon, on Walmart, and maybe you don't want to list merch for whatever reason. You don't want to list merch or the actual physical shirt on Etsy. You can sell the printable. You can sell both, really. I give the people an option to buy it on a shirt or just buy the design by itself.
Or you could do that, or you could also sell the Photoshop file and say, here's a free template that you can change. You can change the words, you can do whatever you want.
And totally. Yeah, that's a great idea. So and anything else on this point of interest before we kind of transition to the main event?
The only thing I'll say is like you don't have to necessarily do this on the same Etsy account that you are already selling on. You can actually get a second Etsy account, and you could just do all printables on that one. Just kind of separating your brand a little bit and making it a little bit more cohesive. So that's just something I kind of throw out there as a possibility. If this is something that you're really interested in, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. So look into it more. If you have any questions, of course, you know where to go. We're going to tell you where to go. It's printondemandcast.com/Facebook. If you have more questions or insight on printables, let us know. We would love to chat with you. But something to definitely think about, especially if, like we said, you have those assets that are just laying around and waiting to be used in another way and make you some more money. So this week for the main event, I guess I can't forget the bumper. So before I tell you what the main event is, we're just going to go to the bumper for the main event.
Main event, who's calling?
All right, so for this week's main event, we're going to talk about a platform that we haven't really touched on a whole lot, but we wanted to kind of do some due diligence and kind of let you guys know about the opportunity on this platform. And that platform happens to be eBay.
That's on eBay.
So we're going to get into top 5 tips, or 5 tips. Remember the top 5, but 5 tips for selling print on demand on eBay. But first, some eBay factoids I feel are in line so that people can learn about the eBays. So here's what you should know about eBay. 138 million users in 2022 is what was documented on eBay.com. It's been on a steady decline since 2018, but do not let that detract from the fact that we made this our main event. $10.8 billion in revenue in 2021. And originally, this is interesting, the site belonged to Echo Bay Technology Group. Omidyar had a consulting firm, and that was the name of the consulting firm. Omidyar, who I'm assuming has to be the founder of eBay, had tried to register the domain name echobay.com, but found it was already taken by the Echo Bay Mines, which is a gold mining company. So he shortened it to his second choice, ebay.com.
And there you have it.
Is investigative journalism for you folks. You won't find it anywhere else, really, on any other news networks. So basically, you just get your fix here in the subpar investigative journalism that we do here. But yeah, so Travis, you have an eBay account and you sold your first thing on eBay what in the 90s when the commercial that we just referenced was a thing?
That's on eBay.
Yeah, I used to sell stuff on eBay back in the 90s, and was pretty kind of an early adopter with eBay. And there was even, believe it or not, there was a moment in time where I was actually arbitraging hard drives, like computer hard drives. And
Wow.
I found like this site that had really cheap hard drives, and they were all new. They
Yeah.
had great prices on them. And so I would buy them, ship them to my house, and then I would list them on eBay, and I'd make, $25, $30 on each one of them. And that I didn't have the concept of drop shipping from, the place, because I didn't, it just wasn't in my brain at the time. So
Sure.
yeah, I had to put up a lot of cash to get these hard drives, but I always knew that I could get them and sell them relatively easy. But that was one of my first kind of entrepreneurial online e-commerce ventures back in the day. So yeah,
Wow.
I don't know if that belongs in the the eBay factoid thing, because I'm sure all of the eBay people know that Travis started his e-commerce journey on eBay.
On
But
eBay.
yeah, but I just thought that was pretty cool. Then later, I did actually sell some print on demand products on eBay for quite a while, and for me, it just, I was spending more money than I was making, and I think
Sure.
part of that is because I wasn't really putting in the time to learn the channel.
Yeah.
I know other people that do print on demand, and they do very well on eBay.
Sure.
So let's just get into it. We've got
good.
5 tips. What's number 1, Josiah?
Yeah, number 1, of course, do your research, which I think we kind of advocate in any kind of a scenario where you're getting into a new platform. You're going to want to do your research and figure out what exactly you're getting yourself into. What is the kind of the ecosystem that you're going to be getting into, and what's successful there, what's not successful there. So of course, start by doing your research. You can check eBay's search result page for the most wanted or bid on items to see the type of products that are in high demand. So it's kind of like a cheat sheet. I mean, if you want to see what kind of shirts are in high demand, you can kind of search that and see what's happening, and explore sellers that offer reasonable prices and personalized experience. If you kind of want to check out the competition, see what other people are offering, what they're doing it for. And you can check out, best selling categories as well, which we have a link to that we can put in the show notes. But you just want to do your research to find the niche that you want to sell, and is it going to be successful on eBay? Maybe what you're selling isn't really hitting on eBay, and it's better on Etsy if you're wanting to really focus in on a niche, but that's why you want to do your research. And of course, there's certain categories that are prohibited or requires a lengthy approval process, and these products that you should research carefully or avoid entirely is like food or liquids. Of course, it's always going to get messy.
I don't think I'm going to be doing print on demand food or liquids.
Yeah, exactly. Heavy items, don't sell print on demand heavy items, which you won't be. So there's a whole list: collectible merchandise, unsafe, recall products, medical devices, digital downloads. That's something to think about. We just talked about that on Etsy. So printables, you're going to want to
Which is
look into
interesting.
the. Go ahead. You're lagging a little bit.
Wow, did I freeze?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think I just froze.
I can hear you now. You're back.
That's weird. I've got too many tabs open on my machine. I was gonna
Yeah.
restart it before, but I
Yeah.
didn't. So here we are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's not lying, folks. He's at least got like 75 tabs open on one Chrome screen.
That's a lie. It's probably only 40.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the exaggerations, I didn't need it to prove my point. That's still just a shit ton of tabs to be open. So his computer is struggle busing a little bit. But I just talked about digital downloads, which out of all of these things probably are, out of all these categories, that's probably the one category that's going to be pertinent to you, the listener, because we just talked about printables on Etsy and having digital downloads. And it's something that is going to potentially require a lengthy process, or that some people are saying just don't even get into it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think this list is pretty much for people who are probably not selling print on demand. They're probably selling physical products,
Yeah.
no illicit items, no medical devices, no recalled products. I mean, a lot of this is just like no brainers. And again, not applicable to print on demand. So the good thing is that you can sell coffee mugs, you can sell t-shirts, and all kinds of apparel. You can sell home decor items. You can sell all of these things that we've talked about every week on the Demandcast. Those are all totally, above the bar.
They're fair game. Yeah.
They're fair game. Exactly. So number two, thing that you want to definitely think about is and we talk about this
all the
it's funny
time.
it's funny because all of this stuff is so applicable to every single channel, but find your niche and build your brand.
Yep.
And I think this is probably why I was not successful on Etsy.
Sure.
If we want to get down to it, I didn't focus on a niche. I went really wide, and I didn't really build my brand. I just kind of threw as many things at the wall as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about doing your research, and researching your niche is another one of those things, and exploring similar listings, search terms with the highest view count, customer reviews, follow related trends, interests on social media. A lot of what we've talked about, those things that kind of hit a good cross section of something that is timely, and maybe marrying it with another kind of design, or putting it on your shirt. That can have something that's a little bit more relevant to what is happening at the moment. But once you see what does and doesn't work, you can start building your brand and use eBay's Seller Hub. You can register for an eBay account, select a subscription, which we'll get into a little later as far as pricing and fees. But you can customize your store page. You can give yourself a store name, unique and short enough for an attractive URL, so like up to 35 characters. But obviously, you want to do something that's a little bit more catchy, a little quicker for people if you have to give them the actual URL. Main image, high resolution, up to 9,000 by 9,000 pixels. You can have your logo, store description. That's massive. Up to 9,000. That's nuts. You have your brand logo, your store description, a marketing banner, and you can actually have a video, which I think is kind of cool, on your store page to kind of help convey the brand's vision, the lifestyle, the value, and the values of the brand. Again, we've talked a lot about this, and we'll get into this also in the coming weeks when we talk about, or we have Luke on the show finally talking about the story. What's your brand story? That video is a killer way to communicate your brand story, and why the customer will be the hero for purchasing your product based on your values, your story. So I think a video, that's awesome that you can put that video on your store page.
Yeah, I think this is, like I said, probably the reason I didn't really succeed on eBay, because I think part of the store building, or making all of your listings kind of similar, or having some type of something that keeps them all tied together is really important on eBay. And so all of the things you've said about building your actual store with the logo, the store descriptions, don't skimp on that. Don't skimp on any of those things. Make sure you do them all right. And then I think you'll have at least more success than I did if you
Yeah.
decide to go down this path.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Number 3 would be optimize your listings. This, of course, includes making sure that everything is named correctly, making sure that descriptions are accurate, things that we've talked about again that are applicable on every platform. But
Mhm.
it's no different
Yeah.
here. I think eBay sometimes, at least to me, when I think of eBay, I feel like the perception that I get is just people selling their collectibles or their crap that they just don't want. You know what I mean? Like their stuff
Right.
that they're trying to get rid of, or it's kind of like a last ditch effort to rid
It's a
themselves of
garage sale.
something. Yeah, it's an online auction site, which is what it really started as. I mean, I have
Mhm.
vivid memories of when eBay first came to prominence, and my dad just watching different auctions for ties, his Jerry Garcia collection, the Rush Limbaugh collection of ties. He would just like a hawk be waiting there and outbid that person by a penny and then be so
Right at
proud of himself. I mean,
And
that
then
was
right
his
at the
whole
last
thing.
minute. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
Right at
they
yeah.
used to have tools that were called sniper tools that would literally you'd set them up and then 5 seconds before the auction ended, they would put in your bid and
Yep.
you'd
Yep.
win the bid because you sniped and
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I got sniped.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna get it and then boom, right at the end it was gone.
Yeah.
And somebody else bought it.
Emotional damage.
My dad was very upset multiple times because of,
Yep.
but for me, that's always been the perception of eBay. So when you think about adding something that's not used or something that's not considered a collectible and you're wanting to actually sell new merchandise on eBay, um, you'll want to kind of go against that perception, not just post anything. You're going to want to make it look sharp as if it was on Etsy or on Amazon and kind of stand out. I think eBay's evolved a lot over the years, clearly. And it's not a platform that, even when I was, in What for Apparel, not a platform that we really gave much
Mhm.
attention to because I think the perception that we had of it, but it's growing. In the beginning, we mentioned it's got like 138 million users in a year, which is it's nothing to dismiss. You can still make a good income. So you're going to want your
Mhm.
listings to be optimized, and the nature of eBay. I think customers are more likely to purchase based on the image rather than the description. So you're going to want to
Sure.
catch them with good lifestyle photos or high resolution photos that you take yourself, or
Mhm.
we've mentioned multiple times placeit.net is a great tool to leverage if you want to use a subscription. They have some free stuff you can get as well, but they've got a lot of good
Mhm.
lifestyle stuff that can make it look better than just that static
Yeah.
image or just the white background or what have you. So something
Mhm.
you can definitely take advantage of.
Yeah, there's some other thing. I mean, while yes, I agree, pictures are going to be the key to on an eBay listing to get somebody to actually purchase the thing. I think at the same time, eBay is an algorithm, just like Amazon, just like Walmart, just like Google. And so your description, your title, all of that stuff, it's just like optimizing anything else. It's very
Yep.
smart for you to use those keywords, those buyer intent keywords. What would somebody who would purchase this, what would they type into the search bar?
Right.
And thinking of those types of things, using some free tools even, or
Yeah.
you can use Google Keyword Planner, or we've talked
Yeah.
about a lot of other tools.
Yeah, I mean, there's something there. It's a keywordtool.io/eBay, which we can put in the show notes as well. But it is an
Mm,
eBay keyword search tool. It's kind of like, I mean, for anyone that's sold Amazon out there that ever used Jungle Scout, it's pretty similar to that. You can see, the
mhm.
cost per click and how many viewers and the demand. So it's a free tool, or I guess it
Yeah.
can be a free tool if you want to see the limited version of the data that is available, but it is a paid subscription if you want to see the more robust information that it can collect for you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By the way, I kind of jumped the shark there and went into the fourth tip, and which is eBay SEO. And I just
Yes,
we went from optimizing our listings to eBay
straight
SEO,
to
which
SEO, which is,
can
I mean,
kind of,
yeah,
yeah, it's
it could
kind
be
of
a point
similar.
altogether if you wanted it to be.
But we're
But
stretching this bad boy out.
yeah, that's right. That is right. Um, so yeah, I mean, SEO is up to optimization is going to be huge. Obviously, if you're new to, print on demand or e-commerce. Those are just the things that increase your visibility, that get you
Yeah.
seen by the most people possible. And it's something that you want to take a lot of
Right.
time and study the function of SEO, not just for eBay, just in general, search
Sure.
engine optimization and keywords, and kind of immerse yourself in that a little bit. I know there's tons of stuff out there. They can give you a crash course on keywords and SEO for each different platform. But if you want
Yeah.
your stuff to be seen and not necessarily just released into the ether or the super information highway, as I reference it as once in a while, but that's how you're going to get stuff to be found. And of course, that's what equals and translates into you selling the stuff that you spent your time making, and
Yeah.
making it worth your time to do.
Yeah. You can also, if you're not sure kind of what keywords that people would be maybe searching, you can just literally go into the eBay search bar and start typing and
Yeah.
look for those auto suggestions. That can kind of kickstart um, your keyword process, and
Yeah.
it'll give you some ideas for some of that stuff. And like Josiah was saying, SEO is so important to your print on demand business. And YouTube University is a great place to
Yeah.
go and just learn about all this stuff about SEO. Like I was talking about the Google Keyword Planner. Well, how do you use that? How does that work? Again, YouTube University will teach you all about that.
Yep.
But all of those things can and will help you sell more things, because search engine optimization, or search engines, it's not just limited to Google. Amazon is a search engine.
Yeah.
YouTube is a search engine.
Yep.
eBay is a search engine. Etsy is a search engine. And they all have these algorithms that are maybe a little bit different, but they're all based on keywords. And
Yep.
that's what you're going to be trying to figure out with some of the tools. I love that keywordtool.io/eBay. Definitely check that out. If you're looking into selling on eBay and optimizing your listings with, good keywords, that's going to
Yeah.
be a good place for you to
Yep.
look into.
Absolutely. And then number 5, of course, rounding this out, is you need to be aware of the fees that eBay is going to charge you. And of course, fees vary from platform to platform. Every platform will have them, and they are going to be different on each platform. So there's listing fees and there's sales fees. Now, eBay's listing fees are 35 cents per product. You receive 250 free zero insertion listings each month, which basically means, and correct me if I'm wrong, Travis, but if you have less than 250 listings, they're not going to charge you an insertion fee as long as
Right.
it's under that 250.
Exactly.
And then when setting up your eBay store, it's unlikely you'll need to pay for insertion fees. As long as it's under that 250, you can completely rely on that 250 number and not getting charged for that.
Yeah. I think the thing that we did was we went way over those and didn't realize that there were other options.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
were paying 35 cents per listing. And something else you need to be aware of is, like in Etsy, it's like you pay the 20 cents and it's for 4
Yeah.
months. Well, eBay is 35 cents and it's for 1 month. And every
Yeah.
month you pay that 35 cent. Now, again, you get 250 for free. And that's just half of it. When you
Yeah.
sell, there's more fees. Yay.
Yeah. They got to make their money somehow.
That's right.
It's not a charity that they're running, apparently.
What are those the fees when your item sells, Josiah?
Yeah, so the sales fees, they take 30 cents per order plus 10 to 15% of the final value of the sale. So that percentage amount will differ, obviously, for each different category, but it includes the item price, the shipping cost, the sales tax, the regional regulatory fees, and other applicable fees. And of course, there's a link here where you can find all of eBay's selling fees, and it's on eBay itself, so we can put that in the notes as well. But there's more detailed information. And then once your listing exceeds the free amount, or if you start landing higher value sales, you can up your subscription plan and receive more free listings and lower your eBay final sales fees through a higher store package. So if you don't want to be limited to that 250 or try and keep it under 250 so you're not paying 35 cents listing, there are different options that you can take advantage of.
Yeah. So, so before when you just start out, you may not have a eBay store. You may not actually subscribe to anything. You just have 250 free listings and you're just selling them, and you only get charged when they actually sell.
Right.
Once you get above that 250, it might make sense to look into these stores that Josiah was just talking about. They have several different kinds of stores and they're all based on how many listings you're going to get a month. And then they have benefits beyond that,
Yeah.
But so what we were on, I think we were on the basic plan. It's $21.95 a month. If you buy it in a year, or $27.95 if you just do month to month, and that gives you 1,000 free insertion listings.
That's
So that's a
probably
lot
worth it.
less. Yeah, it's a lot less than if you were just doing it at that 35 cents and paying that for 750 of more listings. So if you've got, that many, it does make a lot of sense to just, bite the bullet and jump in here. The next one, the premium, is something that I am very interested in, actually, because I didn't realize this, but it's basically $60 a month if you buy it for the whole year, or $75 a month if you don't, but you can have 10,000 listings for free. So, we have way more than 10,000, but that would be, at that point, I feel like you'd be in enough places that kind of the spray and pray method might actually work.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
If you have that many listings, the odds of you selling enough to justify that $60, because $60 is more than an Amazon Pro account is.
Right. Which you can list up to 1.5 million things on Amazon.
Right. And I mean, I think we all know that Amazon is certainly the lion's share of percentage when it comes to things that are sold on e-commerce as a whole, online. But all of that to say, you always want to diversify. And so eBay, it could be a good option if you are in Travis's position, you have that many listings, or even if you have, under 1,000, give it a shot. I mean, why not? You're not going to pay for all those product listings if you subscribe to those higher plans. So if there's enough to justify it, then give it a shot. I mean, you have to do your research, but that goes back to point one.
The other thing that these plans do is they lower your final value fee. So that 30 cents plus the percentage, well, the percentage actually gets lower as you get higher up, on their plans. I mean, they have a $300 a month plan that you can list 25,000 things. And then they have an enterprise plan where you could do 100,000 a month, and it's like $3,000 a month. I don't think I'll be doing that one.
That's
but,
a lot.
I mean, that you can obviously graduate to that if like for us, if the premium plan works, we list 10,000 things, and we're like, hey, the percentages are working in our favor. It might make sense to move up to the anchor plan at $300 a month and put another 15,000 listings up there. And then have that final value fee get lower to where it does make sense. And you get dedicated customer support with that, and some other things when you're spending that much, and damn it, you better. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you better have some perks other than just free listings at that point, because that is a lot of money. So, I mean, I think the reason we wanted to talk about this is I do feel like we have spent some time on the other platforms, and obviously if you're new to the show, if this is your first episode, hi, that's Travis. I'm Josiah. Good to see you.
Hi.
Or good to be seen and heard by you. But if you're, I think sometimes because a lot of this is very repetitious in SEO and optimize your listings and all of that, I think we assume that because we've talked about it so many times that people must be sick of hearing about it. But there are people, this might be your first show. and
Right.
you search print on demand, and we're talking about eBay, we have covered the other platforms in our archives. So go avail yourself of that as well. But we
Mhm.
just wanted to let you guys know the options that are out there. eBay is certainly one of them. It's not one of the big three, which is Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, but it is an alternative. And I think one thing that Travis and I have learned in our time in e-commerce, as I referenced earlier, is that diversifying the platforms of which you're selling on is great, because putting all of your eggs in one basket is a surefire way to end up with an omelet that costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars should they take your basket away or break the basket or break your eggs. So you want to diversify. So we just wanted to take some time and highlight eBay. Again, it's not the most prominent platform in e-commerce, but it is an option that we felt like you guys should at least be aware of.
Exactly. I mean, you can kind of hear or read between the lines as I'm going through these subscriptions and talking about how many things you can list. And even Josiah is saying, well, Amazon is only
Right.
$40 a month and you can list, 1.5 million things on it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if eBay is right for you.
Oh, Travis just dropped out of the show, and I don't know why. But I think where he was going with that is that um eBay might not be the right choice for you, and there might be more value on other platforms for you. And we'll ask Travis what he was saying, because he's
Well,
back now.
well, that's never happened before.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened, but you were gone very quickly, and I thought maybe you just took yourself out of the frame, but now you were just out of the
Nope.
entire studio right away.
No, it
That was it. You were
StreamYard
gone.
just dropped me, and all of a
Just
sudden it said,
kicked
"Sorry,
you.
something went wrong. Would you like to retry?" Well, yes,
Wow.
I
Well,
would
yeah,
like to
it's
retry.
probably because your computer's under a lot of pressure. So you need to maybe close some tabs. So,
Yeah, that was almost like a second dad joke.
very close.
Yeah.
Very close to a second dad joke, but hey, what we do.
Yeah.
Most of the conversation.
Well,
What are you saying?
all I was saying was that maybe some of the other print on demand options that we've presented are better, or less expensive. But like I said, there are people that are making this work. And so
Yeah.
if they are making this work, then perhaps you can. And maybe your profit margins aren't as great, as, some of the other channels, but maybe the volume makes up for those profit margins.
Right.
So again, like Josiah said, we just wanted to present the option to you. If that's something that you feel like could help you in your business, well, then we're glad we shared it with you.
Yeah, totally. So with that being said, I think we're going to hit the old outro, and I'll go stream of consciousness and hope to not trip over my words.
international effort to pressure.
But I never make a promise that I can't keep, so I'm not going to promise that. But here we go. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. We definitely appreciate you. Seriously, if you are new here, thank you for tuning in, pressing play, subscribing, downloading, whatever you did to get our voices in your ears, which sounds more intrusive than it actually is because you chose this. Thank you. We are very appreciative of your listenership, and would hope that you would come back. And if you found this information helpful or informative, do us a favor. If you're listening to the podcast app on Apple, leave us a review. Let us know what you thought. It helps the algorithms, helps the system it helps tell the system where we should go as far as feeds and people who need this information. You can rate us on Spotify as well, but you can't leave a comment yet. So the biggest thing you can do, whether you're new to the show or not, is join the Facebook group, printondemancast.com/Facebook. That's where you can ask Travis and I a question, but more importantly, that's where you can ask each other questions. Put questions out there to be answered by the group as a whole, because there are people who are in that group that are experts in things that Travis and I are not experts in, or have more insight or perhaps more knowledge on certain things that you might have a question about that Travis and I don't have. But that is a great group to join the community, join the conversation, and be a part of that. So I definitely encourage you to check that out for sure. If you don't like social media and you still want to reach out to us, you can email us, info@printondemandcast.com, and let us know your questions there. We're also on Instagram and YouTube, and printondemandcast.com/Instagram and printondemandcast.com/YouTube is where you can find us on those respective platforms. Also, we will be in Long Beach at the ISS show there in January. So if you want to know more information about that show in January, you can go to the Facebook group. We did also post a link on that, or just search ISS Long Beach. But it's a really great trade show. Travis and I will be there, and we would love to meet you guys if you are planning to be there as well. So anything else, Travis? Did I miss anything? I feel like that was shorter this time, but I think I rearranged some things.
I think you did really good. I think we're good to go. This is actually going to be a short podcast. How about that?
How about that? Yeah, it's pretty rare that we go less than an hour on anything, really.
Right.
But this is history making, folks. So thank you guys so much for listening. For Travis, I'm Josiah. We'll see you next week right here on the Print on Demand cast.
See ya.
Hey, babe, thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Print on Demand cast. We hope you enjoyed the Totally Tubular Show. If you got a question or a suggestion for the show, send Travis and Josiah an email at info@printondemandcast.com. Want to be wicked nice? Take a minute to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss next week's episode. See you next time, for sure.
We're feeding the ducks to inexplicably sensual music. You want to hear those ducks quack? Give them a
Quack.
nice sourdough.
Quack. You know,
Here's how you make a good sourdough.
I used to take my dog to the pond, but those damn ducks, they wouldn't leave him alone. That's what I get for buying a purebred dog.
He had a purebred dog.
Purebred. Nothing but bread. So much bread.
Here are the basic steps and timeline for making sourdough bread. Feed your active, healthy starter. Don't have one? You can make your own in about a week with this tutorial that's hyperlinked, but you, the listener, can't take advantage of that advice because you're only limited to the things that I tell you. This is typically done the morning before you plan on having a loaf of bread to eat. The music is fading.